Hey, this is Valerie from Lexis. I'm just going to show you some steps on how you can start doing your statutory federal research for your trial brief memo. Log on to Lexis, and if you are given the statute, okay, and you want to pull it up, I'm going to use a civil statute to start with here, the Fair Housing Act, and my site is 42 U.S.C. 3604. So you just put in your statute that you're looking for like that, and you click search. If you are then, once you get in here, there we go. Couple things that you can do from here. First, if you want to see, once you figure out after reading this, what prong of the statute, what subsection is the one that's most on point. There's A, there's B, there's C. One of them is going to be more on point for you than another. Then what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm going to go over here to go to notes of decisions. This is going to let you find cases that are interpreting the language of this statute. So you go to notes of decisions, and then you can, this is a really huge statute. Not all statutes are like this, but if you're saying, okay, I want to know about fair housing and how it relates to discrimination, I click here. And this is going to show me a list of cases that are interpreting the Fair Housing Act statute. And then from there, of course, I can click in to individual cases, or I can set up a folder here, choose a folder and create a folder if I'd like to do that. Number two, after you have pulled your statute and looked at the notes of decisions, then I want you to shepherdize your statute over here. Do you see this? Shepherdize this document. This is going to give you a comprehensive list of every case that has cited to this particular statute. So I click shepherdize this statute. Couple things that I want to just point out. You've got a lot of citing references going on here, okay? This is a big statute. What you want to think about is how to narrow down. The first thing I'm going to point you to is this. It's not something you would click on your own. It's called subsection reports by specific court citation. When you click it, it allows you to zero in on the subsection of the statute that you're interested in. So if you want to look at subsection A, you scroll down. These are not A. It goes specifically to courts that cite to subsection A. This is the general citation. I keep going. Number 16 here, this is subsection A of my statute at issue. And if that's what my what everyone's going to be looking at in terms of arguing my motion, I'm going to want to look at these cases. I click here. Now notice, this is going to give you 1,100 citations, which is like a ton. So then you have to think about how you want to narrow down your cite list. So then what you do is you go to jurisdiction. Let's say you want just the Ninth Circuit. And then from there, you can go down to search within results, and you can add in a certain element that is very important for you. So this element is probably going to be the one that is going to be hard for you to prove, the one that the other side also has a good argument for. So when that happens, you want to say at least, and then I'm going to say 3, open paren, and I'm going to put in a key word for me. So my stance, let's just say it's desperate impact, okay? I'm going to say desperate impact like this. And what this is telling Lexis is I want this term to appear at least 3 times before you show me the case. And this way what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure I get an in-depth discussion of the element or the key issue that's important for me. Remember, you want to make at least all one word. This entire thing is one word, and then how many times you want it to appear. The last thing, I just put 3 randomly, but you can put whatever you want depending on how big, law reviews, you're going to put more because they're longer. Cases, I usually do 2 to 4. Okay, so now I'm going to click here so you can see. This gives me 32 cases. So what does this 32 cases represent? It is cases that are citing to the specific subsection of the statute that you're interested in the Ninth Circuit with a focus on disparate impact. And then what you would do from there is you would just start reading and clicking into the cases. So that's just how you would work with your federal statute. Okay, so now we're going to move on about what else you can do with your federal statute. Let's say you're trying to find the most seminal case, okay? You can also use your statute as a search term, and you do it like this, 3604. I say 42/33604, and what that's going to do is it's going to find my title, 42, skip 3 words, and then go to my section, which is 3604. The reason you do that is because a lot of times cases might cite to this section in a different way than you're putting it in. They might spell out section, they might use the abbreviation for section, they might say United States Code Service, they might say USCS. You don't know what they're going to say, so you want to give yourself lots of room. And that's how you do it. You say 42/33604, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click everything. And I'm going to case law now. I'm trying to find a seminal case. I'm using my statute as a search term. I want you to go over here and click on Ravel View. Ravel, as I think you guys know, is going to give you the most influential cases in the area of law of your search terms. Now, this is a big statute, so I'm going to want to use my filters before I get started here. I go Publication Status, and I'm going to just look at the reported cases. And then what I do is I can hop from term to term to term. Now these are the cases in the Supreme Court that have the largest circles. The larger circle, as I said, is the more influential in that area of law. So I would probably start here, read these, see these seminal cases, and then what I would do is I would drop down into my circuit. So I would try to find cases that are interpreting the rules of the Supreme Court. And I would click in the larger bubbles in here. Now, if I have a search term I want to focus on, I can focus on that with search within my results. If I want to refine by jurisdiction, I can do that under court. So this is how I want you to use Ravel. Now remember, Ravel is only the top 75 cases that appear on the cite list. So once you kind of get the lay of the land with the large seminal cases and some of these lower court cases, and you're looking for something maybe a little bit more factually specific, I suggest you go back to your major cite list, which would be over here on graphical view, and use the search within results here. And here you can say, I'm looking for the element that's most at issue for me. I can refine by that. And remember this from last year, I can then connect this with a search term that is important to me, some fact that might be interesting to me. So here I might say whether or not, this is fair housing. So I might say whether or not an apartment unit was available. So I might say avail, okay? Disparate impact within the same paragraph, avail. The formula is like this. I'm going to use this as a chalkboard. It's law within the same paragraph as fact. So you figure out what your law is, you connect it with the paragraph, and then you figure out what your legally significant fact is. It's a great way to narrow down results. Now, we're going to cover that one more time. Up here at the top, I was using my statute as a search term, but I don't have to do that. I can actually just search by my keywords that are included inside my statute. So let's say I wanted to do that. I could say I wanted to just kind of look at my research in a different way. I say housing, let's say, within the same sentence as discrimination. And then I might say, and fair housing, or something like this, okay? And then I'm just going to be in federal court. So I click here, and then I click like this. So what I'm trying to show you is how to search by statutes and then how to search by keywords. So a lot of times you're going to get those keywords either by the actual verbiage that's included in your statute that you've kind of figured out are important, or you're going to get those keywords from reading cases or from going to a secondary source. So here is another list of cases that are driven by keyword, not by statute. Still a good thing to do, by the way. And I can then go back over here and narrow this thing down. Remember, I say my law that's interesting to me is disparate impact. I'm connecting that within a paragraph, and then I want to see what my legally significant fact would be. And in my issue, it might be whether or not a particular apartment was in fact available. I might say avail, and then I click search. It'll definitely narrow down your search results. And then again, you can also go to unpublished, go to the unpublished cases, get rid of those by circuit, by jurisdiction. I'm going to click on this one case here. I have one more thing to say. For those of you guys who haven't come to class, I just want to make sure you know that you can blue book your citations. So this is a major case in this area. If I click copy citation, and then I pick, I'm looking for the blue book, which you guys use, but the blue book won't license us, Lexis, their name. And so we went with standard. So you pick standard, you then click, go down here, and here's your thing, and you can copy and paste it out. That's one way to do it. Okay, the second thing I want you guys to think about is, actually I'm gonna pick another case for this. Hang on a second. I'm going to pick this lower court case, okay? So let's say you want to cite to this case and you want to blue book it. So if you want to blue book it, just the general citation, you click copy cite, okay? Sometimes you want to pinpoint cite, so you want to get into the body of the case because you want to quote it. So what you do is you highlight what you want to quote. Let's say I want to quote this. You then go to copy advanced. My current format is standard. I then scroll down here and you'll see here's my text that I want, and then here is the pinpoint citation. It actually spans 2 pages, and so it gives that to you and you can copy and paste it in. If you guys have any navigational issues, feel free to reach out to me. I hope this is helpful, and good luck to you.